Good afternoon. Welcome to 2026 and our new time slot. So as you guys know, we are starting 15 minutes early. So we still got the bell. We still got the 4 o'clock, but we got a little more time. We got a little more time before we have to start concentrating on the bell. So my New Year's resolution, we'll see how long this can go. My New Year's resolution is to not be late on the bell. Not be late. Can I even make it a day? We're going to find out. We're going to find out for sure. Right off the top, I just want to pop this up. Wahipple in with that gifted Mountain Finance membership going to, who is it? I got to look over on the side here to see. 5W238. Well, congratulations, 5W. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the team. And of course, that means Wahipple. Wahipple is our first goat of the new year. So we've got our 4 goats. Those 4 goats are going to be retired this year. So we do have a secret goat. We will always have a secret goat. And I'm not telling you how to get there. I'm not telling you how to get there, but I will give a clue every week. The first clue on how to find the first secret goat is 5. 5 is the clue. All right. Now, speaking of 5, if we go beyond the traditional 4 goats, we got our secret, not our secret, sorry. We got our 5th goat. Our happy goat, I guess, and we got a new one. So we are retiring the old one. And guys, just because, let's take a look. Here is our old one. Goodbye, 2025. We will not be needing your services anymore. You're gone. You're done. You're over. So that is the last time you will see that goat. And in fact, I am just right now over here on the side. I just removed it, so I couldn't even show it to you if I wanted to. So that is now retired. Now, as we find the secret goats, though, we're going to replace each of these goats. So we'll have 4 secret goats, and we'll work on finding them. We'll work on finding them and replacing the old traditional goats. But until then, we have the old traditional goats. We are all fine and dandy. So, whew. What a day, what a day. So the market is green. So, and it's kind of funny. It certainly doesn't feel very green, but it is definitely green. All right, so let's actually, I'm going to pull it up. We're going to just jump right into the market initially. We'll take a gander here. This is the TSX. Now, I have moved our blue line. Now, it's interesting, and I noticed this last month. So, I have always been starting my blue line at the beginning of where we started the month, but last month I went with something a little different, and I went with where we ended the previous month. But thinking back, not so much with the Canada market. The Canada market's fine, but with the U.S. markets, that doesn't really take into consideration any after-hour trading that happens on the last day of the month. So I am going to switch it back to the beginning, where we began the day on the month. So for this one here, that means this line's actually going to move right up to here, because that's where we began the month. This is our blue line. So if we are above the blue line, and we are right now, that means we're having a green month. If we're below it, then we're having a red month. So we're going to have to see what January looks like. So far today, it's not looking too bad. It's not looking too bad. So I'm definitely liking that. So in terms of the Canadian markets, well, part of what's going on is we've got mostly it's the precious metals. We got precious metal recovery. So we got some strong gains in gold and silver. That is certainly boosting materials, mining, despite there is some sector pressure still in there, but it's helping us out. It's helping us out for sure. Of course, some of the rising commodity prices are, well, they're helping the Canadian market because it is pretty resource heavy. We are starting to also see a little bit of a tech rebound starting to build. And we're going to see that as we look a little bit deeper into, of course, into the charts for sure. So looking here at the TSX right now, as I said, we are up 0.37%. We got a lot of market left, guys. We got a whole half hour. So we'll see how that goes. Switching south of the border, and I have not moved our blue line yet. Let's move it right now, guys. Let's see here. There we are. There we are. So, all right. So this here, we began the market. Actually, let's see here. And actually, we would have began the market right about there. That is not right, is it? No, it's right here. It's right here. Duh. All right, we went up and then came back down. All right. This is where, anyway, nonetheless, I'll fix the lines. I'll fix the lines after the show, but we do have a little bit of a green market coming up here with the S&P 500. It is currently up 0.18%. And you can see it's just a little bit above that blue line, just as we would expect. January is going to be an interesting month, guys. We could see a good amount of volatility this month. So oh gosh, I think I'm going to call January as a red month. I think I'm going to call January as a red month. Not a deep red month, but I think we're going to end in the red. NASDAQ is down a little bit. The NASDAQ is down 0.01, so pretty flat. But as you can sort of see here, I'm going to just move the blue line right now. I'll place that for for Monday's show. As you can see, a lot of red at the beginning of the day, but we are seeing that little bit of modest recovery towards the end of the day, as I was mentioning earlier. The Dow Jones Industrial also not too bad. They're up 0.61%, so definitely one of the better ones today. They've had a pretty good day, as well as those small caps. Those small caps had a pretty good day as well. The Russell doing good. Not too shabby, guys. So the markets are looking. It's actually not a bad day. It's not a bad day, unless you're talking Santa Claus rally, and we're going to get there. We're going to get there. We got a journey to go on. So first of all, gold. I mentioned that we were seeing a little bit of some positivity in our commodity prices. And gold is currently up 0.22%. Silver up 1.31%. And that's definitely helping the overall market. Copper is down a little bit, though. Copper down 0.34%. Oil mostly flat, up a tiny bit, but mostly flat. And crypto actually is looking strong, both Bitcoin and Ethereum on the upside. All right, let's switch on over to our heat map. There we go. So yeah, looking at Canada, you could sort of see that we got a bit of a mixed bag. We got a little bit of red over here in our tech area. Constellation Software down a good 2.56%. CGI down 1.06%. The banks not looking too bad. Look at this. We got Royal Bank up a 0.11. You got BMO up a full 1.41. CIBC is up. TD up a little bit. So not too shabby. Not too shabby there. Interesting little story over here. CCO. They are up 7.44% for our little uranium company out of Saskatchewan. So I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So yeah, Enbridge is doing pretty good today. So yeah, it's not looking too bad. Even Pembina Pipeline up 1.43. Now, looking at the United States, well, yeah, it's a little bit different. Tech is still, even though there's been a bit of a recovery here, it hasn't been great. Microsoft today is down 2.38%. Meta down 1.3%. Nvidia is up 1.21%. Apple is down 0.43%, though they were up this morning. In fact, guys, I've had a swing trade going on Apple for a while, and this morning they finally moved back into the green, so I got my stop loss in. Of course, it got triggered, but still made a little bit of profit. Not as much as I would hope to, but that's fine. If I want to get back into Apple, I can certainly do that. They're not on my radar right now for my next trade, though. So that is, oh, by the way, guys, that is one of the benefits of being a channel member. I do post the swing trades that I'm making to the channel membership. So if you're on the line, like, do I want to be a channel member? That might be the thing to push you over the line. But nonetheless, yeah, it's not too bad. Tesla's down quite a bit today, 2.36%. Actually, let's actually come back over here for a second. Yeah, look at this. I mean, Tesla, since here, Tesla has been on a pretty steep decline. I am expecting to see them turn around sooner than later, but I certainly not liking this right now. I do have an open swing on Tesla, and it's going to be sitting. I think it's going to be sitting for the rest of this. Well, I was going to say the rest of this week, but it's like, wait a minute, it's Friday. Ha ha. So there isn't any more week. There's no more week. It'll definitely be sitting there into next week, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. You know, it's going to be interesting to see how January is going to turn out. So, oh boy. All right. Let's head into crypto. Crypto, look at this. A nice green day. Look at this. XRP having a pretty good day, up 6.41. But look at Dogecoin. Dogecoin up 10.94%. Holy banana bread. That's pretty good. Now, guys, it is tradition around here. We like to pick on an altcoin. And if the market's red, we go green. If it's green, like today, we're going to pick some red coin. Here's one here. Let's go with whatever this is here. I love it. All right, guys, you can't see the name because my head's in the way. Let me move my head. Because, oops. All right, you'll just deal with this little black hole here for a second. I just drug it over here so I could use the edit function here. So I hit edit. I move my head to the middle. There we go. Save, and we're going to just update the layout. All right, my head should be in the middle here in a moment. I'm just pulling it back over. All right. So guys, our coin of the day. Could I have picked a better one? Trash coin. Oh boy. If you guys, this reminds me of when we hit loser coin, but this time we've got trash coin. And guys, guess where this one belongs? Yep, you guessed it. It belongs in its name. So this is trash coin. It's worth, well, it's not worth very much. It's worth 0.04 of a penny. So yeah, this is one of these coins. I don't know. It's, oh, I should remove the comments. It's not worth much, guys. It is a trash coin. I call them crap coins. Because a lot of these coins, it's like going to the casino, playing a game of craps, throwing your dice, and losing. Because you know what happens in casino? The house pretty much always wins. That's kind of the idea here with our trash coin here. So if you're interested in trash coin, I don't know why you would. I don't know why. But definitely read the white paper. Make sure you understand what it's about. Make sure it has a function. And I'll tell you, from a name like this, it feels very memey. So I'm never gonna buy trash coin. Never in a million years. But guys, there are ways to make money in crypto. Trash coin is not it. If you want to make money in crypto, well, stick to your big coins. Whoops, we have to go this way. Stick to the big coins. Stick to Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Cardano. Heck, even the Doge, well, especially the Dogecoin today, up 10.76%. Whew, all right, guys, let's hit the chat. All right, hopefully you guys all had a fantastic new year. So, oh yeah, my prediction video, it is out. So if you haven't seen that yet today, there's some evening viewership for you, some evening viewing for sure. All right, let's take a look here. Zenial in first. Holy banana bread, it's not Jonathan. Happy New Year. When will the red end? Not so magnificent 7. Yeah. And that does actually, I meant to mention a little bit about the Santa Claus rally, the good old Santa Claus rally. Oh boy. So yes, unless a miracle happens tomorrow and we get a massive chart pump, it doesn't look like we got a Santa Claus rally this year. It did not materialize. So traditionally, a Santa Claus rally, you usually see a pump of about 1.3% on average. We have not, and we're looking at the last 5 trading days of the year as well as the first 2 of the new year. Now, I think that number probably needs to be adjusted because where we've gone from T plus 2 to T plus 1, we should basically say the last 3 trading days of the year. But it's been a rough end to the year. It's been a rough end of the year. We have not gotten a Santa Claus rally. We'll call it tomorrow, 100%. But unless we got a big move to the like a really good green day tomorrow, then Santa Claus rally. Nope. Not this year. And some people will even say January 2nd is the last day for the Santa Claus rally, but it is supposed to be the first 2 trading days of the new year. And today is the first trading day. Monday would be the 2nd. So we'll see how it goes. We're going to see how it goes. Oh boy. This poor Santa Claus. All right. Claude says, hello, lots of green for me today. Chemico is roaring. Yes, CCO, doing fantastic. Jonathan, congratulations to 5W238, of course. All right. Bismarcky, good afternoon all. Coming to you live from World Headquarters, a.k.a. work. You gotta love work. Scott says, good afternoon, everyone, and a happy new year. Michelle's in the house. Happy Friday. My investing resolution, make no sudden moves, stick to the plan. That's more than just an investing resolution. That should be a mantra. That's a great idea. Great idea. I love that. Brian says, good afternoon, everyone. And let's see, when I see those numbers for an ID on the gifted membership, it just makes me think they are bots. Well, they're now channel member bots if they are. Yeah, sometimes you wonder why people choose the name that they've chose as their username. Like I can understand if it said like well, like you, Brian Carlson, there's your name, and then F7G, probably because Brian Carlson was already taken, so you had to throw something on the end, and the F7G is probably important to you. Like maybe you were born on February 7th, and maybe you were born in Guelph, so F7G. I don't know, I'm just taking a shot. All right. Brian says Palantir is knocking me down for the day. How is Palantir doing? I did not. Whoops. I did not look at Palantir. Boop ba doop boop boo. Of course, now it's a matter of finding Palantir. They're in here somewhere. Yeah, they're not sticking out. They're not. Oh wait, no. That's. Oh wait a minute. That's because I'm in Canada. Yeah. I'm looking for a U.S. company on the Canada chart. There we go. There is my first big mess up of the year, guys. There'll be plenty more. Don't worry. You'll get more opportunities. All right, Palantir. Where the banana bread are you, Palantir? Yeah, they're not sticking out. They're not sticking out. I thought they were. No, they're not in product producer manufacturer. I thought they were. Actually, I thought they were in the tech section. Wait a minute, that might be them there. There they are, yeah. Down 5.26%. All right. Yeah, fun. All right, we've got Cowboy in the house with the greetings. All Wahipple having a green day. John says, Happy New Year's, everybody. Happy New Year, everyone. All right. Why videos? Hi, Happy New Year, everyone. Very green day for me because of Micron MU. Yeah, MU has been one of the tech companies that has actually done pretty good in the last quarter, for sure. So yeah, I can see that. Doorpat, I am literally holding myself so I don't invest everything today. I have a feeling we are in for a ride this year. How would you invest, Candace, if you have the funds currently to max out the TFSA and the RRSP? All right. Um, yeah, it's tempting to do it on day one. It really is. I have a feeling we're going to get a bit of volatility. I think we're going to see some volatility in January. So this is how I think I would do it is I would look for my first big dips. Even then I probably wouldn't go all in on the first big dip. I'd probably, let's say for example, if I was going to spend well, in this case here, $7,000, I might I might go like 2,000, maybe 25, and then another 2,000, and then, sort of save the less, whatever's left over to see to see what else pops up down the road. So I would probably take more of a dollar cost average sort of look at it. So yeah, we're gonna have to see. We'll have to see how this month is gonna look, but I am expecting some volatility this month. But the good news is, I think we're going to be fine. Like if you guys watch, any of you who have watched the video, the second half of this year is going to be pretty solid. I think the first half is going to be a little bit more shaky, but I think overall it's not going to be a bad year. It's not, there will be some companies that get shaken out. There will be some companies that are going to get corrected, but I think for the most part, you play your cards right. You invest in things that have good, solid fundamentals, or on the income side, you sort of pay attention to what you're investing in. You don't jump on every single new ETF that pops up because there's going to be a lot. I think you'll do fine. I think you'll do fine. And of course, we will keep analyzing it as we go through this year. It's not going to stop. Speaking of stopping, we do have the Financial Express. So that's the event we did in December, where basically every day you guys had the chance to add another live stream, another market close. We we did every single market close in December. Every single one. We did not miss a single one. So because of that, the Financial Express is continuing. So we are going until we miss a day. We're going. So it's up to you guys. Right now, we've already got Monday in the bag because you guys bought Monday. You guys bought Monday on. I was going to say yesterday, but not yesterday. On New Year's Eve, you guys bought Monday. So Monday's in the bag. On Monday, we can add Tuesday if you want. Or you know what? We've already got one today. If you guys want to throw another three, I'll throw Tuesday on now. I don't care. Anyway, let me know before the end of the show, obviously. All right. Wahipple says, I think the Santa Claus rally not going to start till Monday. Well, it has to be Monday. But that's fine. We can still have a New Year pump. There's nothing wrong with a New Year pump, although I do still see volatility. But keep in mind, guys, when I say there's going to be volatility, volatility goes both ways, up and down. So volatility doesn't mean that we're going to be, completely in the red all month. No, it means that we're going to have a bit more movement up, movement down. There's going to be a little bit of movement. I think it might be a good month for swing trading, but we're going to see. I mean, we'll see. Of course, now that I've said that, watch the month decide to go completely flat. That would be fun. Doorpat says, "Oh, happy New Year, everyone! Wishing us a wonderful year ahead." I love it. Yeah, Chemico had a nice run today. It's funny. Every time I say Chemico now lately, I've been trying. I keep saying Cogeco, and I'm like, no, that's another company. Wahipple. Let's see here. Swing trades are posted pretty early in the morning most days, and the post is updated throughout the day. Yeah, I do update it. So, when I make the post, if I make any changes that day, I'll just update the post. So you may not, I think you get it, I think, and Wahipple, you might correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you will get an email initially when I make the first post. And then if I update it, I don't think it sends you an email, but I think if you just go to the community tab and look, you can sort of see any moves and say, oh, look, Candace got hit by the stop loss monster again and lost and is out of that trade. And that happens to me a lot. Like depending on, especially, it's kind of this thing. So with the Apple trade, I'll give you a good example with the Apple trade. with the Apple trade, I opened that trade more than a week ago. I've had it for a while, but Apple just I opened the trade and Apple went down right away and stayed down and stayed down. So with Apple, once they were in the green today, to me it didn't matter. At that point, I'm like, this trade's been going too long. I do need to get out of it. So I got my stop loss in pretty early. I was hoping to see a pump on Apple today. If we got a good Santa Claus rally, maybe we would have. But instead, it went up a bit and then it came back. Came back, hit my stop loss, and that was fine. I mean, I still made money on the trade. It just, it wasn't as much money as I wanted when I initially made the trade. But that's the thing. I find to be good at swing trading, you kind of have to adjust your expectations. Look at what's happening. Look at the play on the field. And sometimes you take the small points. It's better to take the small points than to get pushed back behind the whatever. I'm using a sports analogy, and I'm really not in my lane on this one, but it's better to take the points than give the ball to the other team and let them take the points. There we go. That works. Sergi is in the house with a happy Fridays, guys. I know it's Friday. It's so weird. It feels like Monday. It feels like Monday, but it's Friday. So that's just absolutely cool. And now I do have to pay attention because if you guys remember, my New Year's resolution is the bell. is to be on time. And I just looked up and I'm like, oh gosh, I got 2 minutes. I have 2 minutes. So I've got my hand on the bell. That way there's no way I can miss it if I hold my hand on the bell. All right. Azenio says, Palantir has been on a free fall. Yeah, not a great day for Palantir, but I'm still pretty bullish on Palantir for the long term. Cowboy, adding to TFSA day did Biggie, Canny, and Utes so far. Nice. A lot of income there. Oh, nice. Trash coin. I know. We got the trash coin. Now it's like, that's almost better than the loser coin that one time we clicked on that one. All right. SB says, you should have your channel officially checkmarked because there are lots of bots, faked ones out there. Happy New Year. I don't even know how to do that. But yeah, if I could get my channel checkmarked, I would certainly do that. For sure. And I'm just taking a look here. We have about 50 seconds left. Yeah, it was actually funny. One of my videos, speaking of bots, I had a comment on my video one day where somebody was like, this was a good video for AI. I was like, what? I'm not AI, but apparently one person thinks I am. So, no, not AI, not AI. AI wouldn't screw up as much as I screw up, and wouldn't have as much trouble with words. So yeah, definitely not AI. All right, guys, we got about 25 seconds to the bell. If you've got, if you don't like the noise, turn the volume down just for a moment, because the last thing I want to do is scare cats, as apparently I have in the past. Anyway, guys, it is time. There we go. Welcome to the weekend and first bell of the new year, 2026, and on time. And on time. I haven't seen Mary yet, but she'll be proud. All right, now we have a super sticker, guys. Let me put this up. We just got this in. Why videos in with the 199 super sticker. And that's our second goat going on over there into the corral. So fantastic. I love it. Thank you, Why Videos. So yeah, we've got a goat. So yeah, and like I said, guys, if you do the 4 today, I'll just add the Tuesday, and then we don't have to worry about anything until Wednesday. And if you go 5, you get to see the brand new, the brand new 5 goat. Like, is that what we call it? The 5 goat, the funny goat. And this one is my New Year's resolution goat. So you'll get to see that. Oh boy. All right. Let me get back here. All right. Let's see here. Where was I? It's funny when I go to pull up a future chat, I have to at the same time I have to remember where I was and I have to be able to find it. And this one was easy because why videos? Why videos was on both ends. So there we go. All right. Scott says we need a trash panda coin. There's probably one out there. I mean, like I said, there's like 15,000. Well, there's probably a lot more than that now. So yeah, there's probably a trash panda coin somewhere. People always won at Trump's casinos back in the 80s, apparently. Oh, yeah. Well, maybe the house won. Maybe the house won. All right. Wahipple, I wish I could block the AI YouTube channels. They're starting to take over. Oh, God. Yeah, there's a lot. Like, sometimes I'll start listening to something and after a while, you'll hear something that you're like, oh my God, it's AI. So especially like I watch a lot of science content and there's a lot of channels out there that are absolute AI trash. They're not even scientifically accurate. They're just making things up for the click. Like sometimes they'll say, the title might be "This has been discovered" or "This has been discovered." So I'm at the point now that I know my trusted science channels. So I just go to those. I just go to those. And I would, guys, I would tell you guys the same thing. Find the channels like your finance channels that you like. And, make sure, subscribe to those ones. And just be leery of these new ones. Because, yeah, as somebody was just mentioning, there's going to be AI stuff that will pop up for sure. And down the road, I wouldn't be surprised if, well, I mean, you guys know over on Discord, not AI, but there are scammers that will take my picture and call themselves Mountain Finance, but they misspell it a little bit, trying to trick you guys into heading over to Telecom or sorry, Telegram or WhatsApp so that they can try to scam you. I wouldn't be surprised if we get to a point, and I know it's already happened, to be honest. Actually, now that I think about it, there have been a couple of situations where different people, more famous than me, definitely way more famous than me, where they have been cloned, and there have been, some issues with their clones being out there saying stuff in the public. So it's getting a little scary. It is getting a little scary, and I would love to see. YouTube should make it easy for any creators who are actually real people. Maybe like even a little a check mark that says, real human certified. Oh, that would actually be really good. Um, all right. A cowboy says HBTE jumped 6.7%. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously we had crypto's having a pretty good day. Like if we take a look here, let's just jump back over here, guys. There we go. Back to the charts. Good old Bitcoin here. Where is Bitcoin over here? Yeah. So yeah, I mean Bitcoin, has been moving. Like actually even yesterday, Bitcoin, it's been on an upward trajectory. We're now back up to 89,000. Of course, that is pretty good for HBTE. So I do like that. And I also would imagine, hopefully, I haven't looked at it, but MSTE, let's take a look. They should have had some recovery, a little bit. Well, they've had a little bit of recovery. You can see right in here. Today, they're up 3.95%. Still sitting at $4.47, though. Oh, boy, MSTE. Not for me, folks. Not for me. But, I know that there are some of you that like it. There is potential there. There is a lot of long-term potential, but it's a rough ride. All right. Mary is here, guys. Mary is she is our captain of the like button. So, look at this, 23 likes, only 63 watching, 23 likes. Guys, that's not even 50%. Holy banana bread. So definitely hit that like button. Let's light it up. Let's turn it blue while I'm gonna have some coffee. Perlovia. Energy swing trades could be great payoff in the start of 2026. Oil will be dancing. Yeah, energy's going to be interesting. I think energy's going to have a pretty good year. It won't be a banner year, but it will be better. Energy's going to do better than 2026. Or sorry, 2025. Oh my gosh. So you guys were mentioning the other day. You guys were mentioning the other day about signing the date. Somebody was saying I'm going to put 2025 a few times. Well, my mom runs a small country jamboree in Nova Scotia, and I do the poster for her. So I've got a template all set up over on Canva, and I set it up. She just gives me her guest names. I put them in, and I pump out the posters for her. So she gave me her January show information last night. So this morning I just quickly did up her posters and sent them off to her. And then not that long later, she Facebook messaged me and said, "You realize it's 2026 now, right?" I'm like, "Whoops." So yeah, I pulled that off. I think, luckily, I think on the thumbnail for this live, I think I did put the 2026. So what can I say? Is this the official channel of Mountain Finance? Yes, it sure is. It sure is. Now, I will say, though, with that being said, I believe there is another Mountain Finance out there. Not a YouTube channel, but an actual business. I think there's a business somewhere in the States. I believe there is a business called Mountain Finance. They're probably, brick and mortar. Probably brick and mortar for the most part. All right. Brian says the F7G was assigned by YouTube. Oh, okay. There we go. That's easy too. Buddha says not a bot. Not a bot. It's actually funny, guys. Funny story. So if you've ever worked in a call center, and I've done that, I've done a lot of management, but I started at the bottom and worked my way into management. Didn't take long, but a lot of times you're saying the same thing over and over again. And one time I had somebody say to me, "I think you're a bot. We're talking to a robot." And I just said to them, I just replied, "I am not a robot." And, they burst out laughing, and we had a great call after that. But nonetheless, all right. Buddha says, anyone in NDA, so Neptune Digital Assets, a great start to the year. Let's take a look. I have not looked at, whoops. Oh, you guys just saw a hint of the posters I was making. Yeah, so now it's like, oh, look, there were posters. Candace actually did make posters for her mom. It wasn't just a funny story. Yeah, no, but trust me, I back everything up. All right. Oh, I accidentally shut my window, so I don't even have it up yet. Let's actually go in. We'll actually pull up the site fresh. Here we go, TMX Money, Neptune Digital Assets NDA. Here we go. Boop ba-doop boo. Let's see. Oh, look at this. Yeah, look at this. Nice little jump back into above a buck. So yeah, you gotta like that. However, when you zoom out for the last year, they've had a rough year. And we go to the 3 years, you can sort of see. Yeah, I mean, I do like them a little bit, and I know they have a good debt situation. So they last time I looked, and let's just take a gander. Last time I looked, they had no debt. So let's take a look and see if they're still in that position. No, they have now taken on some debt. They've got a 10% debt to equity ratio. That's still not bad. The problem is, though, they're still not profitable. Hopefully we see a bit of a turnaround with Neptune Digital Assets, because I think the concept is pretty good. All right, Guy, you're a guy. I think Guy. We'll go with Guy. Guy says Canadace. Funny. I'm full of funny stories nowadays. I was signing my name once very absent-mindedly in an office, and I accidentally wrote down Canada. I'm just gonna say. So I have made that mistake myself, so I forgive you for sure. Anyway, have you ever done a video on Kraken Robotics? PNG.V, great company, sky's the limit. I love Kraken Robotics. I haven't yet because they've been pretty low. But I would certainly love to perhaps in the future. So I do like, I like Kraken Robotics and guys, and let's just pull this up here. I think is it PNG? PNG? Yeah, there we are. Look at this. They're up another 6.09% today. So Kraken Robotics are doing great. The last year, yeah, they've made, I mean, they've moved up from like 2 now up to 6. So I do like Kraken Robotics. So I would love to do a video on it. Now, there is one way to make me do a video on it, Aggie. So, of course, Sunday is this week. It is the first Sunday of the month. And I know last month, you guys, I had a couple people request that I bring back the subscriber-sponsored video. So I did. I brought it back for December. And Paul had me do the, that was the HYLD video. So I'll open it again on Sunday for you guys if you want. So, if you want me to do one, there will be an opportunity that you could pull that off. But I know there's somebody else who wants me to do something else. So I don't know if they still do or not. But I'll open that up on Sunday. So, and just guys, just so you know what that is basically, it's basically a $20 super, and it's a super chat. You write down the company you want me to deep dive, or if you want a list video, you write down what type of list you want. You just give me the information. The only stipulation on it is that it can't be a brand new company, because if there's no data, it's hard for me to deep dive it. And it also can't be a penny stock. So those are the only real stipulations. But yeah, if you guys want, I'll make it available. Up to you guys for sure. But that would get a Kraken Robotics video for sure in January. All right. Michelle says, watch your 2026 prediction video. Love your rating system and some of your confidence in areas. Nice. Thank you. Yeah, I was, I that one was good. I actually, normally I can script a video in a day. That one I did it over 2 days. I did it over 2 days because I really wanted to sort of really think about the predictions. I wanted to make sure that they were gelling with me, because last year I got 74.5%. This year, I kind of want an 80. But I'd still be happy with another 74 or 75%. I mean, how many people who make predictions get that kind of an accuracy? Not many. Lisa says, good afternoon, everyone. Michael says, UEC pop that I knew hitting 1165 would pop. That wish I bought more. UEC. Let's take a look. I'm not familiar with UEC. I'm thinking uranium, but yeah, uranium. Duh. So yeah, this is the Uranium Energy Corp out of the U.S. I think we looked at it. Didn't we look at it like a few days ago, Michael? But yeah, look at this. Another big pop. I mean, they're doing pretty darn good. So yeah, uranium is doing good. And of course, even today, Cameco did really, really good as well. So CCO, and let's actually go to Cameco. I want to take a look here. So what I really love about Cameco is, there's nothing wrong with UEC. Fantastic company. It is US though, but Cameco. And yeah, you can sort of see. I think a lot of uranium stocks probably experienced this pump. Probably there was, I would say, a big pump in the price of uranium today. I haven't looked at it, so this is sort of where my best educated guess. But look at this. Let's take a look at this year. I mean, they've had a fantastic year, going from $75 to $135. Why videos? Congrats, Candace, for almost 10K subs. I know the keyword there is almost. Did you plan something special for 10K? Yes, I am planning something. I don't know yet what it is. I've been mulling it over because I have a feeling we should hit it. We should hopefully hit it this month. Well, we will hit it this month. I mean, we're right now sitting at, and let me just double check here. We're sitting at 9,000. 620. So basically 380 away. So that's easily doable. So 380 new subs, and we will do an event. So usually what I do is something around, it's usually a live stream. It's usually an additional live stream. We'll do it usually about 7 p.m. Eastern. We're going to have to see. I'll tell you guys in the past. So at the 1,000 subs, that was our first one ever. I did a drinking stream, and you may think, oh yeah, so you just drank on stream. Well, I don't drink, so it didn't take much for me to get kind of 3 sheets to the wind. It did not take long, and I think I probably giggled a lot and made a lot of funny noises. But yeah, that was the first one. After that, we've done the Hot Ones challenge. We did that. I think we did a parody video once as well. That was another one. Oh, one of the ones we actually did a market open to market close full day live stream. So we did that one. That was like a 7-hour live stream. Holy banana bread. But yeah, you guys, we actually, a few people actually came on. So you guys know Larry. Larry's here all the time. I haven't seen him yet today, but Larry joined me on screen. JJ was there. Ian was there. Prairie was there. I hope I got everyone. But yeah, it was a great show. Kamiko, Kajko, Kolko. There we go. And Michael says, buying the dips, still working when UEC has 698 million uranium to sell to help have more energy. Yeah, see, that's one of the great things about a commodity is that you know you're going to get dips when the commodity price does a little bit of a recline, because commodity prices do that. There's a bit of volatility in that. So sometimes that can work out really well, especially if you're looking at something like UAC being able to add in those dips for sure. Let's see, buying places where we eat works also. CBRL. All right. Wahipple says, I got an email. I got the email part turned off, but it shows me when I am on the YouTube page looking at videos to watch. It puts a red dot on the bell top right of the page. Oh, okay. Interesting. CSU is having a tough time. They really are. So Constellation software. So some of the issues with Constellation software is that, people are worried that a lot of their products could just be replicated by AI. That's been one of the concerns. Also, if that's not enough, they also had to change their CEO. He stepped down. So that's another issue as well. And a lot of people think that he was kind of the driving force behind their success. Now, that's all fine and fantastic, but here's the reality. This is what Constellation software has to do. They have to show that AI in conjunction with their software is a huge hit. So in other words, they need to bring AI into their software. And that, I think that will be, and that's something, I'm pretty sure they're going to do it. Obviously, they've got some smart cookies over there. They're going to know how to get that turned around, but it could be a rough ride getting there for sure. And they have had a tough time. I mean, at one point, they were over 5,000. They were over $5,000. Now, oh gosh, what are they at right now? Let's just take a look. Let's pull up the chart. All right, 3,000. Oh my gosh. 3,243. I'll just pull back the year, and you can sort of see right here. This is where they broke the 5,000. I remember Vic was so excited. I don't know if Vic is here today, but actually, Vic usually can't make the market closes typically because he drives. He drives the big trucks. All right. All right. Tom says started a swing trade on a TSLA. Bought in today at 38.76. Nice. Yeah, you've got a nice, better entry point than what I have. And guys, if you're looking at that and you're thinking, wait a minute, that's not the price of Tesla. Well, yeah, it is. If you're looking at the CDR, and I'll pull this up here. I got 2 Teslas here on the list. So we've got the regular Tesla and this one here. This one here is the CDR. And so you can see, after it broke out of this channel, oh boy, it's had a nice little run to the downside. So 38.76. So that is right about, where? Right about here. So yeah, so Tom got in pretty much at the bottom of this. Now, if we do get a turnaround, and I'm hoping for that, we will, Tom will be in profit sooner than later. Sooner than I will be. Sooner than I will be. I can't remember where my entry point is. It's somewheres in here, I think. Yeah, actually, I think my entry point is right here at 41. Now that was my initial entry point, but I did add a few more shares, so I averaged down a little bit. So it's probably closer to 40 and a half or something like that. And that's fine. I'm patient on this one. I can wait. I don't mind waiting. All right. Michael says Palantir should go back to $100. Being overbought, that tech could do worse this year. Yeah, I think Palantir will do fine. I think Palantir will be fine. Defense spending is not going to go down. They're in a very good spot, so I think they'll have a really good year. LOL, AI Candace. I know. Michael says buying CVI, being oversold. That on a pinch is almost ready to pop to the 20-day. That buying at 24.50 next week after buying pop to 29 is the 20-day. That the black bands are tight to start the spread. Okay, interesting. All right. Yeah, I don't know so much about CVI. Well, we can take a look. Why not? I'm not in any hurry here. Oh, holdings. Whoops. All right, I'm going to close out a few of these pages that we don't need. Why have I got Instagram? Wow. I was looking at some pictures of Ottawa on Instagram. Don't ask me why. I just was. All right, there we go. Now, we're all the way over here on the end. CVI, that's what we were looking at. CVI, here we go. So Compass Venture. But you're talking about, I know, Michael. Michael's talking about CVI Energy. All right, let's pull this up. So CVI Energy, I'll pull up that 1 year. All right, so yeah, they've been doing fantastic, but they're in a bit of a downtrend. They do have support. Like I could see some clear supports in this area. Actually, anywhere from, I would say from here to about here, we got pretty good support. So you're kind of looking at it. Yeah, you're kind of looking at a rebound. I think that's not a bad call. Especially if we do start to see some improvement in energy, and I have a feeling that we will. So not a bad call, Michael. Sky is in the house. Let's go big for a bit. Happy New Year, everyone. You can tell YouTube to stop recommending those channels. Yeah, exactly. So anytime you do get a channel that is just absolutely crazy, I think there's a little thing you click on those circles, and then you just say not interested. Well, here, let me show you. You know what? It's easier to just show you guys. Let's head over here to YouTube. Whoops. All right. Well, let's get out of this stream. So yeah, let's say we're looking at this and there's things in here we just are not interested in. Like, all right, Young Sheldon, I don't care about that. So I can come over here and click on these down circles, and then you get a couple of options in here. One is this one here, not interested. Now, if you choose not interested, I think it looks at the topic. But you could put don't recommend channel, and when you do that, that means that I'm not going to get that channel recommended to me anytime at all. Now, guys, of course, now that you guys are looking here, you can see one of my other guilty pleasures. I like reaction videos. I don't know why. I just do. But I do watch a few of those. And here's science. So what can I say? All right. Let's... Oh. You guys didn't get to see any of it. There we go. The first time in the year that I have not showed you what I was doing. Let's do it again. All right, here we go. This is what I was mentioning, reaction science. All right, let's find something here that I'm not interested in. Mythical react. I don't even know who that is. All right, so if I don't like this channel over here, I can click on this little button. Now, I got a couple of options. So there's the not interested, and there is the don't recommend channel. Not interested would be if I don't want to watch reaction channels, then it should theoretically serve me up less. Unless I click on another one, then it kind of throws it out the window. But if I go don't recommend channel, that means that I shouldn't see any more of those mythical reacts. So here, bang, boom, done. You can undo it as well. I'll leave it. I don't even know who that is. But that is how you would do it. That's how you would do it. So what can I say? So yeah, look at this. You can see three things. Science, reactions. Down here, we got something about income, investment income. There we go. What can I say? You guys know more about me now than you did before we started this stream. All right, we'll go back over here. Actually, we'll just go back to the big screen again. Ian says, I see AI videos and then I read the comments. Crazy how some people fall for AI. Yeah, but here's the thing though. It is getting better and better. There's a couple times I've watched something and at the end of it, I'm still not 100% sure if it's AI or not. Now, there is one channel I watch. It is AI, but it isn't. So basically, the person who runs the channel, she just doesn't do, all she does is she scripts it and she has her own, an AI avatar of herself that does the reading. And I would never have known if she didn't tell us, but you know, but it's good information, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Like, you know, down sometime in the future, like, you know, when I'm like too old to maybe do this anymore, who's to say I can't just make an avatar and then still produce all the information, you know, and have a new, fresh, younger version of me out here just peddling the information. Of course, my AR avatar would have to be a little wacky, because if it's not a little wacky, then it wouldn't be a true representation of myself. Oh, and plus we would have to have an episode where I interviewed my avatar. That would be fun. I'm just saying. All right. Jan says, I had a scammer contact me in my email from a YouTube creator dupe to invest in crypto last year. I almost got scammed, but I contacted him through Facebook and it wasn't him. Be very careful. Yeah. And I'm going to say right now, guys, in the world of finance, and this can actually apply to all of the world. No creator on YouTube is going to contact you and come up with a great opportunity. I mean, what would make, and Jan's special. Jan, you are special, but I'm going to use you as an example. What would make Jan so special that, you know, Joe Blow on channel, you know, ABC is going to reach out specifically to Jan and say, I have this great deal, Jan, and you know, if you send me this 1 Bitcoin, I can get you 2 back. It's not going to happen. It'll never happen. You know, even my favorite, even all of my favorites here. I'm not going to reach out to you and try to offer you some kind of make money quick scheme. Holy banana bread. For one, that would be highly unethical. For two, probably illegal. You know, that's the type of thing that would get me banned off of YouTube if I was doing that. So I just want to be very, very clear. If you ever get anyone reaching out to you from me, from any financial YouTuber, or any channel that you follow on YouTube, just report them. Don't even humor them. Just report them, because they're scammers. They're trying to take advantage of you. They're trying to take your money. And the last thing I want is for the scammers to win. So always be careful. And Jan did the right thing. You know, even if you are falling for it, still reach back out to that person. Reach out directly. And you know, with me, for example, I'm pretty easy. I mean, if you guys want to talk to me, you can talk to me. You know, there's Discord. There's the Facebook group. All you got to do is, like, if you're over on Discord, for example, just, you know, call me out. Call my name, and I always look for those, because I want to reply to people who are calling me out directly. You know, when I get messages, you know, Facebook, I get messages on Blossom. Yeah, Blossom. You can direct message me on Blossom, and I encourage it, or even over on X, whatever you want. So, you know, maybe not all creators are quite as approachable, but nonetheless, if if you let them know that someone's trying to scam you, I think all creators who see that will probably jump in and say, no, don't do it. Don't fall for it. So yeah, absolutely. All right, Cowboy. Remember when the king of Zimbabwe wanted to put 2 million in my checking account? Oh gosh. Yeah, and then there used to be, of course, all of those princes in Nigeria who were just looking for a way to move money out of their country, but they needed money to be able to move money. I'm not sure how that works. I'm not sure how that works. And Paul said, just got here. Good afternoon. Hello, Paul. Welcome to the show. Claude says 100% legit. The scammers had a platform to transfer your money to and everything ready. I almost did it. Oh, yikes. Yeah, and one of the big scams too is they one of them is basically it's almost set up like a broker. So they'll say, look, just send a little bit of money and we'll show you how our system will make you money. So you'll give them a little bit. And they'll, it'll look all legit. You're in your like a broker, like a Wealthsimple type thing, and it's showing you the investments and it's showing you the returns that you're getting. And then normally when you start seeing how much money you're making, supposedly making, then you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, this is working. I'm going big. I'm going big. Well, that's when they get you. Because if you try to pull any of the money out, even after you put the big money in, it looks like you're making money. But the only reason they're going to keep that going is they're hoping that you put in even more money. But the gig is up when you try to pull any money out of their application, because you can't. It's all fake. And they've got your money. They're laughing all the way to their bank in Zimbabwe or wherever it is. It's just you got to be careful. You just got to be careful. All right. David says, do you think POW, so Power Corporation of Canada, stock dividend will raise 10%? Okay, so their dividend, you want to know if their dividend will go up by 10% this spring. That's quite a bit. That's quite a bit for it to jump. Well, you know what? Let's look at history. Let's look at history. And this is something I like to do. So we'll go to Power Corporation of Canada. Here we go. Let's pull them up. And I'm actually going to go right here into their key data. All right. So this gives us a general idea of their dividend. So last year, their first spring, that was when they did. And they seem to do a jump every year. So last year, they went from 56 to 61. Interesting. Now, I don't know what percentage that was, but let's go back even further. 63 from 52 to 56. So, yeah, 4 cents. This one here, this one was about 5 cents. So I could see them going up to about 64 cents, maybe 65, depending on how they did this year. So yeah, I can definitely see a hike. I don't know if that's 10% or not. I don't think it's 10%. That's more or less, it's 10% would be going up another 6.1 cents. I don't see it going up quite that much. So I could see closer to between 7 and 8% maybe. But yeah, they've been doing it pretty good. So yeah, you are looking, and that of course is going to be their one that's going to be payable out in May. So spring, yeah. So yeah, I think you're close, David. I don't think it'll be 10%, but it won't be that far off. All right, let's see. He needed new accounts because his were full. Maybe. Now, keep in mind, guys, this goes to both ends. So when you guys get scammed, like they're attacking you guys, they're attacking me as well. I get an incredible number of emails of people saying, I want to promote on your channel. Tell me how. Talk to me on Telegram. Yeah, those are scammers. So I get hit with them too. And what they want is, for me, they're looking to get me to, to get interested, talk to them, and then they'll send me a package, usually in a zip file. Once I've opened that zip file, it's too late. They take control because all of my session cookies are on my computer. So if I open that file there, they have access to they basically take my session cookies, replicate them on their computer so that they get full control of my YouTube. First thing they do, change the password. Next thing they do, private all my videos. The next thing they do, they put on some kind of a fake video. Oh, they also change the name of the channel. So, or sometimes they'll change the name of the channel to like, maybe it's Elon Musk Live or something. And you'll have like some interview of Elon Musk. And on the side, they'll be asking you for donations of crypto and with opportunities to get more back. So that's just one of the types of things that they do. So you got to be really, really careful. So, and I will tell you with the sponsorships I've done. So, with Evolve. So when I did those videos for Evolve, I met with, not met with them, but I did a video conference with the girl from Evolve, and I also then went in and I researched her first on Evolve, got to see what she looked like, to see if it really was her, and it was. So, things like that don't help. Like the little bit that I did with 9Point, actually that came from Adriano. Adriano sent them my way, and I double checked with Adriano. And I was like, "Hey, did you send 9Point my way before I started talking to them?" And he was like, "Yes, I sure did, because I like your channel." I'm like, "Okay, great, thank you." So, yeah, it was just one of those things. One of those things. Like I will double check everything, because I don't want, I don't want, like, even though you typically get your channel back, the damage is done, right? All of your channel, all of your content is privated. You have to unprivate everything painstakingly. As well, it's a little bit of a stamp on with the trust, like, because you guys trust me to provide you with good information. You guys trust me to not scam you. So if I get scammed and a scammer comes in, sure, most of you will be like, "Oh, it's not your fault." But nonetheless, to me, that would be a little bit of a trust break there, because I didn't take care enough. I didn't take care enough to protect the channel if that happened. But like I said, and even if I did get a situation where I thought they were legit and they sent me something in a zip file, honestly, I wouldn't even open it on my main computer. I would move it. I would basically, I would move it to the laptop. I would pretty much air gap it from everything. Like, I would turn off the Wi-Fi. I would turn off everything before I even opened it. Just because you can't be too cautious. You really can't. All right. Michael says, by looking at PNF chart, that CVI could hit $22 before moving up to pinch to work. That $2 more to the downloads from 24. Yeah, no, yeah, we looked at CVI. I think they look good. Brian says, I hear the king of Zimbabwe died with billions in his account. No one believed him, and he died without giving any away. That's funny. That would be funny if it were true. All right. There's Larry. Yeah, see, we were talking about Larry earlier. Bayer up now, 68% portfolio. Supreme Court ruling soon. Does Bayer have to follow state rules on labeling when the federal EPA approves of their labels? If not, they don't need to warn about alleged cancer. Interesting. I haven't, and I will admit, I've not really been following the Bayer story as much as I would like to have. So I probably should check more into that, but good call, Larry. Let's see here. Dead or alive, not getting involved. Damn, market close, that I didn't know. Patricia is in the house with a hi, and we got a hey all coming from Elaine. Hello, Elaine. All right. Patricia says, I sold NDS back in October. I held them for 4 years. They have yet to be profitable. Yeah, I think she means NDA, so Neptune Digital Assets. So yeah, and that's the thing. They haven't been. I know that there was at least I think one YouTuber at one point who was very pro on Neptune Digital Assets. But also keep in mind, I think they were also a sponsor of that individual. So I just like, yeah, I just, they haven't. There's been so many really strong points in crypto, and they haven't reflected it very well. So yeah, it's a company I don't like per se. Rendezvous or we'll just say Renee DU2. There we go. Hi y'all. Hi Candace. Happy New Year. Well, welcome back. I haven't seen you in a bit, so welcome, and I hope you've had a great New Year. Yep, the NDA. There we go. Larry says Bayer has currently paid out over 11 billion, but if they don't have to warn, which Fed said they don't under a pesticide act, they can't be sued or fined by states or people. Yeah, that's good for Bayer, I guess. It's good for it's good for if you've got to play on Bayer, but it kind of sucks for people, unfortunately. But that's kind of big business. Rory is back with a high again. Let's see. I think I'm going to buy XEQT mainly for 2026, the stocks being at all-time high. What about you guys? That or something like XUS? And I do like both of those. I think XEQT, I think it's hard to go wrong with XEQT. The market's always going to go up. Eventually, over the long term, it'll always go up. Unless, of course, we have something really horrific happen. And at that point, I don't think you're going to be worried about stocks. All right. Cowboy, been thinking about dropping HDIV, rolling into HHIS. What's your opinion? Oh, boy. That's an interesting one. So, yeah. HHIS will give you more income. No ands, ifs, or buts about it. You'll get some good growth too when we do have technology start to finally rebound. But HDIV, oh, see, I really love HDIV. Because, well, keep in mind, HDIV is that hybrid one because you are getting a good amount of growth. You're getting a half decent dividend. HHIS, a lot more aggressive. So what can I say? Guys, I got a cat. I got a cat at my feet right now who is bugging me for treats. That's because she just woke up. If she jumps up, I'm not going to show you underneath my desk, but it's too dark down there for the camera. But if she comes up, well, here, I'll try to grab her. I might be able to grab her. No. She doesn't like to be picked up, so she kind of moved away. She moved away, guys. But if she comes back, I'll try to get her. I'll try to get her on camera for you. Oh, but yeah, back to HHIS versus HDIV. Depends on your goal. If your goal is 100% income, if that's what you're using it for, HHIS probably makes more sense. But if you do like that growth, if you do, if that's kind of if total return is kind of your gauge, I like HDIV better in that area because once again, it's OTM versus ATM once again. So out of the money covered calls versus at the money covered calls. I really do need to make a video about those two. All right, let's see. Larry says, there's no proof Bayer's glyphosate causes cancer, but that won't stop lawsuits in America claiming it does. No, it probably won't. If anything, they need to do a big study. That's what needs to be done. All right. Rory, is EIT doing a special dividend this month? I noticed my projected income for the fund increased for January only. Not talking about the fund distribution, just dividend cash. So you're looking at just dividend. So I don't think so. Let me just take a look here. Like they normally do their notional distribution, which is a kind of a different thing. I have not heard of anything about their actual dividend coming up just for January, but let's take a gander here. Whoops. I need key data. There we go. Yeah, right now we don't even have any amount in here. So what they might be doing, Rory, and I've seen this in the past with EIT, is that sometimes they'll put a I guess a dollar figure on the notional distribution, but at the same time, it's not actually a cash distribution, but it does have a value. It has a monetary value. So that kind of might be what's going on. Now, if you're holding EIT in a registered account, ignore it because it won't even impact you in any way, shape, or form. But if you are holding them in a non-registered account, it will impact you. It will impact you because that amount, the notional amount, that is still taxable. So that would be showing up in your taxes when it comes to tax time if you are holding it in a non-registered account. EIT, yeah, I love Canoe, but let me say one thing. Not an account you want to hold outside of your TFSA. I would rather keep it in my TFSA or your RRSP or any registered account, but just because of some of the crazy stuff they do at the end of the year with those notional distributions. Michael says, Happy New Year, Candace. Many thanks for answering all our questions. By the way, I sold my small position in Kraken today at a 30% upside. Now I hope it corrects to get back in. Let's hope so. But you know what? It never hurts to take a profit. It never hurts at all. All right. CCO comes out as Clear Channel that you got something else. Clear Channel. That might be in the US, Michael. If you put in, let's put in CCO here. So right here we can see Cameco Corporation. Now, Clear Channel, yeah, that's the US one. So that there is Clear Channel Outdoor Holdings on the New York Stock Exchange. So CCO is on the TSX. It's on the TSX. And yeah, and I don't think they have a US, as far as I know, I don't think they have a presence on the New York Stock Exchange. Rory, got to wait 2 more business days before I can buy anything. Currently deploying to the TFSA. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Let's see. I'm holding on to my XDiv, but yeah, I was wanting some NASDAQ action. Eric says HHIS. I'm thinking of dropping HHIS. I am down 7%. Can I drop this ETF? What is your opinion? Yeah, I mean, you're going to be down right now. It does hold a lot of tech. Now, it really depends, though, on your entry point. So, for example, in the 0 to 100K challenge, I'm up on HHIS, but I did get in. I get in at a really good entry point. Here's the thing. It really, I would, first of all, I would look and see where you really are. Like the price, maybe your entry point is down 7%, but with the dividends, hopefully you're still in the green. If you are, there's absolutely no problem with dropping it, of course. And maybe moving it to something different, maybe something like HDiv. I don't, just as an example, I mean, obviously you'll want to do your due diligence on anything that you move it to. But yeah, I mean, if you don't like a stock, there's nothing wrong. I mean, if you're going to just be aware of what loss you are taking if you're taking a loss. I do think HHIS will rebound because you have to look, even though it's aggressive and even though it is at the money, you have to look at one thing, though. And this is one thing that people do tend to forget. And you know what time it is, guys. It is time for... All right, we have to go back to the posters, then we'll go to the Canva. We're going to try to go to the main Canva page. I need a whiteboard. Here we go. All right, so when you have let's do it. Let's just do it. All right, give me a second here. I'm going to pull this out. All right, so even though you're looking at something that's at the money. Now, obviously, one of the interesting things with HHIS is that it is doing this a lot. So it's doing it to all of the funds that it has underneath of it because there's a whole bunch in here. So like everything from MSTE to, they've got Palantir in there. They got Microsoft. They got a lot of them in there. So any one stock, and we'll just pick a stock here. I'm just going to call it stock A. So if we have stock A and we're doing at the money, because these covered calls, they're not written on the ETFs. They're written on the individual stocks inside of them. So in the case here of HHIS, I'll put this over here. So in the case here of HHIS, they are, they're not actually doing the covered calls per se. The covered calls, they're all being done on all of these individual ones. So with A, so let's say, for example, they write on 50% of the portfolio, and, and we'll say 50% at the money. So what that would mean is that, let's say there was 1,000 shares in there. I'm just using this for a simple reason. Actually, you know what? We're going to say 2,000. I'll tell you why in a second, because most options are written, a lot of times you'll do options on like 1,000 shares or multiples of 1,000. So in this case here, 1,000 shares would have that at the money covered calls, ATM, CC. The other 1,000 shares well, they have nothing. Nothing happens to them. So this 1,000 here, they will gain their upside. So they'll get 100% of their upside. They're just like holding the stocks, just like holding the stocks. But all of that, because of the at the money on this part, they are going to lose that upside. So for example, if it was a $10 share, they would write an option on it at $10. That's what at the money means. So basically, whoever takes this option, when they take it, they can cash it in immediately if they want to. They won't, because they're paying a high premium. So they're paying a high premium. That's an arrow. So they're paying a higher premium for it. So obviously, let's just say they were paying 50 cents for that premium. I'm just picking this out of my butt, guys. I'm just using this number as an example. Well, that means they need that to rise to at least 10.50 just to break even on that premium. So there will also be a time frame on here. We'll say it's 1 week. So if in 1 week it gets to 10.50, they're in shape. If it gets higher than 10.50, they're in the money. So that's one of the reasons that they charge so much. So that's at the money, and that's kind of what happens there. So you do get to charge more because people can cash it in almost. The only situation where they can't is if all of a sudden it turned around and it went down. Well, then they can't cash it in, of course. So to me, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Now, if you had an OTM, so if you did this OTM instead, so for example, something like HDIV. HDIV is going to be, HDIV is more than likely OTM. In that case, once again, you have the 1,000 shares, they get full upside, but then you have your other 1,000 shares that are going to have OTM on it. So in this case here, if they were $10, and let's just say you had that 1 week, well, that 1 week strike price might be, in this case, maybe it's 10.25. Maybe it's 10.25. And this case, they'll charge, they'll have a smaller premium. So perhaps their premium is 25 cents. And once again, just using these numbers for examples. So in this case, this person, well, one, it has to get to 10.25 before they can even cash out, before they have that option. If it doesn't get to 10.25, HDIV, so Hamilton gets to keep this. They get to keep this premium, and they get to keep their shares. So once it gets to 10.25, even then, it's not really worth it for them to cash out because they need it to get to 10.50. The same scenario in this case because of the 25 cents that they've invested into it. Once it gets above 10.50, then they make money. But on the bright side, when they cash it out, they're cashing it out at, at 10.25, right? So what that means is if it got up to 10.50, they would say, yeah, we're taking the shares. So they would pay $10.25, even though they're worth $10.50. So basically in that scenario, they break even. So they want it to get even higher, obviously, because of that. So upside-wise, for this company, so with the at the money upside-wise, if you notice here, they went from $10 and they could lose it right away. So they basically, when this person does take it, they're getting $10 back. So all of their upside gone. So they have now lost, how much have they lost? They've lost 50% of that company's upside. And you're going to say, wait a minute, you just said all of it. Well, yes, all of the 50% they're writing covered calls on. This other part right here is still getting that upside. So in this situation, if they're writing on 50% of the portfolio, you still get 50% of that upside based on this. While the covered call, the at the money, that's where you're not getting any of the upside. And down here, and this is going to be the big difference. So in this case here, going from 25 to that, in this case here, you're losing 25% of the upside. But, well, yeah, you're only losing 25% in total because you are now in a situation where you get all of this on this side, you get all of this part, you're good, you get that. So that's 50% right there. And here you're still getting 50% of the upside. So This case here, you've lost 25% of your upside, but that means that you're getting 75% of the upside in this scenario. So in this scenario, the OTM gets 75% of the upside. The ATM would only get 50%. So that's where the numbers sort of work. And that's why you get, more OTM when it comes to upside. Now, keep in mind, though, the ATM, because they have higher premiums, they also have higher dividends. So you are also getting, I shouldn't say HDivs. I should just go higher, HIG. You get higher dividends. There we go. Just a simple little thing. Anyway, there we go. Our moment on the whiteboard. First time in 2026. All right, Paul says, I sold Tesla CDRs close to 43. No, not bad. Let's see, if anyone wants to sell me their CSU shares super cheap, I'm here for you. Nice. Well, Jonathan, right now the whole market is selling them super cheap. So you got a whole bunch of people. Paul says, this part of the end of Tesla Q4 car delivery is always an issue, then goes away a week or two later. Yeah, and that's the whole thing. That's part of the issue right now with Tesla is car deliveries are a little lower than last year. So hopefully, this is what I would do if I was running Tesla. I would be doubling down on the other stuff. I would be doubling down on the other stuff and say, look, we're not a car company anymore. Those deliveries are not as important. You got to look at some of this other stuff. So, redirect investors' focus to the AI side. All right, Rory. There we go. Rory just received $2.1 million from Zimbabwe. Nice. All right. Let's see here. Paul, you are not showing anything about not recommended YouTube. Yes, I know. We fixed it. How far behind am I? Oh my gosh, I'm about 30 minutes behind. Guys, I'm going to really try to push ahead. Rob, do you recommend getting out of mutual funds and getting into ETFs, and which ones? All right, well, first part of your question, for the most part, yes. Typically, mutual funds have much higher management expense, management fees. So that's the whole thing. A lot of the mutual funds, they really, really fee you to death. So you kind of want to look at it, obviously. There are some mutual funds that are not so bad, and there are some ETFs that are bad. So you always want to look at the fees, and if you're getting out of one, if it met your needs, but you're getting out because of the fees, I would look at an ETF that does a similar thing. So for example, if you had a mutual fund that tracked the S&P 500, then I would look at perhaps an ETF that tracked the S&P 500. And there's quite a few of those. So I would kind of look at, that's how I would approach it, Rob. All right. Paul says, send me one Bitcoin and they'll send you two. Yeah, they really will. For sure. It's in the mail. Paul says YouTube now requires if some or all of content is AI or synthetic. Yeah, there is a setting. So, and it comes down to, it's actually not as clear cut. So if you have a little tiny bit of AI on your channel, it really depends on what it is. So for example, I may have an AI image. Well, I do. I have. I got my goats. My goats are made by AI. Obviously, goats don't really dance or do things like that. So yeah, my goats are made by AI. But I'm not misrepresenting something. So if I had, let's say I had, I don't know, if I had an AI version of Kevin O'Leary instead of the goats, who was basically dancing and jiving to whatever to celebrate a super. That I would have to disclose. I would have to actually put the AI or synthetic, because that would be using AI in a misleading way. But if I drop a picture of myself in AI and say, look, I want a different shirt color, that's not that you don't have to like put up a big warning saying, beware of AI. So yeah, it really comes down to how you're using it, because everybody's using it to some extent. Like another way that I use it as well is sometimes I'll write a paragraph that I want to say, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, it's just really clunky. So I might drop that paragraph into AI and say, hey, what can we do to make this flow a little bit better? So I'll do that. And that to me is fine. I mean, it's still my words. It's just AI's like, all right, here's probably a better way to say it. And I'll look at it, and usually it'll send it back. I'll look at it, and then I'll change it again. But overall, it's really good as a soundboard when I want to throw something against it. And I also with thumbnails. So this is actually funny. So the way I do my thumbnails is I will make the original design. Then I will let ChatGPT take a look at it, and ChatGPT will then critique it for me. And I had one thumbnail, guys. This is hilarious. I let ChatGPT look at it, and ChatGPT came back to me and said, did you want views on this video? Because that's a terrible one. And I was just like, and I actually thought it was pretty good, but ChatGPT explained to me why. It was the worst thumbnail I've ever submitted. And after I read it, I'm like, oh, you know what? I think you're actually right. It was it was just a little too, I think it was just that it didn't really tell what the video was. So, I went back to the drawing board, came up with a better one. And it did okay. So what can I say? Michelle says, I watch a few channels where the individual is non-English speaking, and so they use a robotic voiceover, and they are upfront with this. I appreciate honesty. Yeah, and that's actually, guys, that's not even the user, right? It is YouTube doing that automatically. So, for example, well, here. I don't know if I can show this. Yeah, I think I can. Give me a second here. Let me... I pull this over. Oh, I have to actually share. All right, so we're actually in my channel right now. Let's go to languages. So my prediction video is available currently right now in 22 languages. My live streams, though, only 2 languages. I think English and French. I think you can get it in French as well. But my main videos, 22 languages. And I don't know if is there any way I could see? I want to see publish. Let's see that. No. Okay, yeah, it won't tell me what languages, but 22 languages. There we go. And I think, anyway, so what they do is, I have no control over it at all. YouTube just does it. I think I can disable it. I think in the settings I can disable it. And if I disable it, it just, for me, I'm like, well, why would I do that? If somebody, especially you take a Canadian sitting in rural Quebec who doesn't speak a lick of English, well, they're still interested in what my content is. So, yeah, sure, maybe some AI will be, voicing over and giving them the content, but I'm okay with that. And I actually went into a video once, and I played a whole bunch of, I played a version of me in Polish, I think. But there's quite a few languages out there. I just wish it would show me all of them here, because that would be kind of funny. Well, actually, here, let's go into analytics for a second. Let's go to audience. Let's see here. Let's see, subtitles. Yeah, here it is right now. Well, these are the subtitles. English, French auto-translated. Yeah, okay, so some people use subtitles, but when we look at countries, and I'm just gonna, this here is all of the countries that watch the channel, but here, I'm just gonna go lifetime. Because, it depends on the month. But yeah, here we go. So right now, Canada, 77.3% of my views are from Canada. United States comes in second with 11%. Then we got the United Kingdom, India, Australia, Germany, Nigeria. Those are the scammers. I mean, maybe not all of them, but I have a feeling that that's where some of the scam stuff is coming from. Yeah, we got Nigeria, Pakistan, Philippines, Netherlands. Well, the Netherlands and, and Sweden, I've seen, like Nice. Nice is in that category. So yeah, definitely some in there from that. Anyway, all right, I will pull this back. We'll pull this back. All right, we're going down a rabbit hole again. All right, cowboy scammers are a plague. They sell fast talk to slow thinkers, prey on the elderly. Yeah, absolutely. Someone should rewrite the ending of Stranger Things finale with AI. Rory, yeah, it'll happen. Quite literally, there's this one AI channel that I watch just because they do it with cats. But they make movie trailers of famous movies, and they replace all the actors with cats, and it's funny. I find it funny, but it's 100% obviously done with AI, but it is actually funny. So I'm okay. I'll watch something with AI if it actually is amusing, if it actually does have some entertainment value. Have you seen the Vintage Space channel? I have not. Do you think the Candace AI avatar would be up for some parachuting or a bungee jump? Um, yeah, maybe. All right. Jan says it was weird. I had been a channel member, and he had been answering some questions about TD at the time, so I wasn't sure. We didn't even know how they got my email. Where do you report a scammer? Basically, yeah, go to the message, the initial message in in YouTube, and you should be able to right click on it, and there should be a report function on it, and then you would report, and then it will open up another window and give you a chance to put information in as to why. Scott saying, just contact the Canadian Anti-Fraud Center. That's another thing too, sure. Michelle, when you buy shares and stocks that have dividends, what is the cutoff date to receive the quarterly or annual dividends? Okay, great question. Let me pull up a stock. So you know what we'll do? Let's go to, oops, I'm at the end. I'm so used to being in the middle. Actually, Cogeco doesn't have dividends, so let's just go to Fortis. We'll go to Fortis. All right, so here's Fortis. So the first thing you want to do is, and you'll see it right down here, ex-dividend date here. So here is their next ex-dividend date is on the 17th of February. That does not mean you will get the dividends if you buy it on the 17th of February. Basically, it's at opening. Whoever's name is the name of record on the opening on the ex-dividend day, so on the 17th. So the latest you would want to buy Fortis to get the next dividend is the 16th. So basically, take your ex-dividend day and subtract a day, and that is the day. Now that will work 99.9% of the time. There are a few companies out there that you can't that sometimes you can still miss going one day before. They're not many. Like I said, most of the time, 99% you're going to be fine going on the 16th if the day is the 17th. And the reason for that is ex-dividend day is not actually, it's not even really absolutely declared by the company per se. They do declare the payment date. They declare the day of record. So this date is actually provided by brokers for the most part. So just so that people have a general idea of when things are happening. So yeah, that, and also on this day, that's when the price drops, because whatever dividends are being sent out, they have to deduct that from the market cap. So that will, of course, pull down their share price a tiny bit. They will recover, of course. But yeah, so in a nutshell, look at the ex-dividend date. You'll find it on any of your financial sites, and your cutoff will be the day before. The day before. You'll be fine if you go the day before, except for a couple of really odd cases. But like I said, 99.9% of the time, you're fine. Cowboy, gotta love when the CRA wants you to pay your taxes in Apple Pay or iTunes cards. I know. Yep. Can you even buy? I guess you can still buy iTunes cards, but the thing is though, iTunes, it's not like I used to buy music on iTunes, and now I don't even know how to do it anymore. Like, because they're trying to get everybody over to Apple Music instead, and it's like I've already bought a giant library. I just may want to add one or two songs here or there. I don't want to pay a monthly subscription. I'll just pay you, your $1.99 or whatever for a couple of songs, you know. All right, Cowboy, that tells you a lot about our liberal government. Oh, gosh. We made it this far without anybody bashing the poor liberals. Oh, dear. Let's see. It's go and pay at a Bitcoin terminal now instead of gift cards. Although it depends. I don't even know. Like, there's probably a Bitcoin terminal in Ottawa. I couldn't tell you where. Does anyone know an ETF that provides better distributions than XEQT and has the same growth? Uh, Good question. Good question. There's I would just take a look at all of your, like, if you're looking for that all equity, so XEQT, obviously they've got investments right across globally as well as emerging markets. So pretty much anybody with an EQT at the end is probably going to be one of these. Like, you've got VEQT, you've got ZEQT from BMO, you got FEQT. Now there is a covered call version as well. So that might be something to look at as well if you're really looking for, well, you're looking for more growth though, right? Or no, you're looking for the same growth. So you do trade off a little bit of upside if you go with that. Let's see, elbows up. Canoe is in Matia Fase, then you're safe. You're fine. Ignore the 170,000 people that got cancer from being near it. It's a coincidence with no scientific backing. Yeah, that's the thing. You got to do, well, the problem is you got a government right now that doesn't trust science. So even if you did do a study, maybe they could throw it out. It's like, no, we're not worried about cancer from this one. Oh, by the way, this other one causes autism. That's like, oh boy. Jan says, I really like his channel. I got my start there. He's very established, but didn't warn anyone on his channel or help me report it, so I ended up leaving. Okay, fair enough. No, I love to go on tangents about avoiding the scammers because, I don't want any of you guys to get scammed at all. Let's see here. Now, Xenial, I checked the ETF websites, but they didn't disclose if a fund is OTM or ATM. Is there a way to check, or does the fund management have to be asked? Sometimes they will, or sometimes you have to read some of the extra information, or sometimes you do have to dig. Another option as well is sometimes sometimes if you just do a web search, you'll find a financial site or something that will tell you whether you're looking at ATM or OTM, or sometimes you have to just look at the behavior of that ETF, because you can pretty clearly see if it's going like flat. Like, for example, when we look at Utes. So when we look at Utes is pretty flat. It's not really going anywhere. As a result, yeah, that one there is more than likely ATM at the money, because when you look at that compared to utilities, and utilities are going up, you would expect to see more of a movement to the upside if they were OTM. So that's one of the ways that you can look at it as well. Let's see. Yes, Cameco is CCJ on the New York Stock Exchange. Oh, are they? Okay, there we go. So they are on the New York CCJ. All right. Oh, let's take a gander. I've never looked at their US, but I mean, it's still going to be the same. There we go. Here we go. Awesome. Awesome. Good call, Y Videos. So there we go. There's Cameco on the US stock market as well. The bell. We did the bell all the way back at 4 o'clock. She's doing what Bill Matheson on ITV Edmonton did with the weather map. The old Bill thought he could fly around the room, arm swinging, market swirling. Let's see. A question: at what percentage do you take profit? It depends. It really does depend. Like, if I'm looking at a company that's struggling and they manage to get up a little bit, and I think that they're still gonna, I don't think that they're out of the water, I will take profit at a much lower percentage than I would with somebody who is on the move up. And sometimes I get forced into taking profit because I might drop in a stop loss. And even if that company was on the way to the moon, if it decides to loop back down as far as my stop loss, that pushes me out of that trade, and that happens to me, and I'm okay with that. I'm a pretty conservative trader in that matter. It's like, I'm okay. I'm all right. I got a profit. That's all I need. Let's see. Roy says HYLD looks good for a buy at 1430. Should it get there? Nice. Yeah, that would be a good entry point. Paul says Tesla started a car rental company in Dearborn, Michigan, $60 a day. Ooh, interesting. They just set up Tesla Rental LLC, planning to run their own fleet without asking permission from traditional rental companies or dealerships. Well, that's interesting. A 0.1% Nigerian prince is a viewer. Maybe. Barking Christmas carols. Oh boy, yeah. I know I've listened to the cat version many times, more times than the dog version, but I'm aware of the dog version. Jan says it was in my email, not on his channel, but thanks. The anti-fraud tip is good to know. Oh, right. That's right. It was in your email. I apologize. I forgot. The email looked like it was from him as well as his speaking manner. They were good. Well, that's a thing with AI, and this is the one downside. So, you could ask AI to say something in the style of, and let's say his name was Joe Blow, in the style of Joe Blow, and give him a sample of something he may have said in the past, or a transcript of his, and then it reads it, and then it will talk, and it will sound very much like the person in that case. Let's see. Thank you. You're welcome. Need a couple days prior, have missed because Wealthsimple didn't get it registered. There we go. So yeah, so in that case there, if of course it doesn't get registered through the broker, if the broker screws up, then yeah, that's that 1%, that 0.1, where I said sometimes you can run into an issue. So yeah, I like to say 1 day before the ex-dividend date, but if you really, really, really want that dividend and you really want to be safe, even going 2 days before is not a bad thing. But 1 day, and most times you'll be fine. Most times you'll be fine. Let's see. XEQT equal 8,000 companies worldwide. Yeah, exactly. Do you think the European market will outperform the TSX or S&P 500 again this year? No, it depends. Oh boy, last year European banking absolutely dominated, and those of you who invested in eBank certainly enjoyed that as well. So yeah, I think there's a good chance. I think the European market will certainly be strong. Will they outperform the TSX or the S&P 500? They might. That is within possibilities for sure. I think as well the European market as well as the Canadian market. It's not going to be as good as last year, but it'll still be good. It'll still be good. And I could be completely wrong. I kind of hope I am. I'd love to see us all on the moon at the end of the year, but I don't think it's going to happen. But you never know. Oh, Rory, I think everyone and their dog owns XEQT. Wow, it is a good ETF for sure. Sergey, I usually ask scammers to send me Amazon gift cards first to prove they are legit. Nice. Have you ever received one? That's the question. Cowboy, yes, it was Monsanto that had the cancer-causing Roundup. That's why they sold off Bayer. Some chemical new owner, all liability died with Monsanto. Okay. When do you think tech companies will rebound from the AI bubble fears of the last couple of months? So I think there's going to be a lot of, I think it's going to be choppy. I think AI will be choppy this year because we're at a point where until AI really demonstrates how they're making money with AI, right now it just looks like, from investors' point of view, it looks like they're just spending crazy amounts of money on something that doesn't show us a clear pathway to making profits. And that's where the issue has been this year. So we're going to get a situation, and this is kind of one of the things I hit on in the prediction video. We're going to get a situation where some of the companies, so the companies who just throw AI in their name, the companies who just use it as a catchphrase to sort of make people think, oh gosh, we're an AI company, we're going to be great. A lot of those companies, if they're not up to muster, I think some of them are going to start falling. Some of them will fail. Some of them will have major corrections. Now, the bigger AI companies that are actually producing, I think they'll be fine. I think in the end, tech will look great by the end of the year. but it will be a little choppy. I think the first half of the year will be a lot more choppier than the second half for sure. All right, Rob says, has anyone noticed that the dividends that HI, as quarterly are not consistent? No, they do. They move to basically they cyclic. So 9, 20, 10, 25. Yeah, they do that. Every second dividend's a larger one. And obviously it has to do with what they're holding, the way that they're receiving distributions. I've never really looked too much further into it, but yeah, that is kind of an idiosyncrasy of XEQT. Rob says, what are your thoughts about Bitcoin mining companies pivoting to AI HPC data centers? I think it's a smart move. If you are, I mean, obviously that's a way to make more money for them. That's kind of where I think it's a smart move. Now, keep in mind too, if we get another run up on Bitcoins, they'll scale that back a little bit, and that to me is fine. Like when Bitcoin is not performing well, why not diversify your business a little bit and do some of the AI data center stuff? I think that's a good move. I still think it's a good move for sure. Scott, I thought about buying a stock with an ex-dividend date in the middle of the month and selling it after getting paid, and another one with that's called a dividend capture strategy. So yeah, and the thing about it is that if you are doing it, you want to be researching the company. So look at their previous dividend payouts. And, well, not even the dividend payouts. Look at their ex-dividend days. Look at how much the company has fallen and how long it's taken them to recover. Because, if you buy a company and then you sell it right away, first thing on ex-dividend day, that's going to eat up. That drop will probably eat up most of your dividend. There's a couple of exceptions, like, actually one of the better ones was Tesla once on ex-dividend day. Happened to coincide with a happy announcement from Tesla. And they just absolutely, Tesla blew up and they blew up. So that was a day that, you got your dividend and you could sell at a big profit at the same time. So sometimes there's exceptions, but for the most part, you want to make sure that, look at the history. It doesn't guarantee what's going to happen this time, but it gives you a better confidence to know whether it's a company that you want to do that with. What do you think of S-Day? I do like, I mean, you got S-Day, C-Day, Q-Day. Those are your 0 day to expiry. Basically, it means very short options. So we're talking day trading style options on these. I think they're good. I think they're good ETFs for income. Now, they're not, once again, these ones are not designed. They're not designed for growth. You're still going to get some growth because obviously they're not writing options on 100% of the fund. But that's the trade-off, right? So if you're looking for a solid growth, I think S-Day, Q-Day, C-Day, I think they're all pretty good. Now, if you want exposure to them without, and still getting a little bit of growth too, they are within HYLD. So that's another option as well. All right, Cowboy, are you aware of any data center under construction? Hear of many to be built, not just seeing any actual build in progress. That's a good point. I do not know of any that are actually in the process of being built. I know about the ones that are planned in Alberta, and I think there's some planned in Quebec, but I don't know if any of the ground has been broken yet. I have to do some research about that as well. Yeah, exactly, and there is a C-Day. All right, guys, holy banana bread. It's a Friday, so I don't mind. We almost hit 2 hours. This has been a fantastic market close. We will be back on on Monday. We'll be back on Monday. We'll do this all over again. I can't wait. We did not get to the bonus goat today, but I think we'll see. The bonus goat's not going away that anytime soon. So I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine. All right, guys. This is a fantastic show. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. So, oops, I have to be big screen. I can't say goodbye if I'm not big screen. So, enjoy your weekend. Oh, we'll also be here on Sunday. And if you, we'll bring that subscriber-sponsored video back one more time. Well, maybe I'll be doing Kraken Robotics. I don't know. Up to you guys. Until next time, guys, I got one word to say. And that word is